welcome, PG County, Charles County, Maryland, to Her Views Minority Report, episode 4. No frauds.
A grand jury in Manhattan has voted to indict former President Donald Trump. We don't know the charges yet as the indictment is sealed, but the New York grand jury was looking into a hush money payment in 2016. This makes Trump the first former president to ever face criminal charges. And it isn't the only investigation he's facing. We went to Waco this past weekend, where Trump held his first rally for his 2024 campaign, to find out what his supporters thought of his legal troubles.
2 for $20, Waco rally shirts. I love Trump on the back, says Waco at the bottom.
Are you worried that these criminal investigations could complicate Trump's campaign?
No. I think it's a great thing.
You think it's a great thing?
Yeah. I think it's going to just organize us more. I mean, honest to God, I think if people see what the Democrats are continuing to do, they see the false narrative, they know it's BS. I mean, if there was really a chance of it going to trial, which it isn't, zero. Read my lips. It ain't going to never go to trial, okay? Trump can show up, they could handcuff him, they could have him stand on his head. It ain't going to make no difference.
It probably makes me the most innocent man in the history of our country. Friends of mine say that.
You heard him. Let's take that in. This moment is happening. Second, I bring this up for a second point, right? You just heard that gentleman, and I want to make this super clear. I want to note that his supporters are gonna support no matter what. And so I want to urge folks my age and younger to stay engaged no matter what. Pay attention to your local and statewide elections and vote. We can't wait. Voter turnout was the highest among those ages 65 to 74. Was about 76%, while the percentage was really low among people 18 to 24. This is a constant trend. We know this. We only really get interested in voting, I guess, as we get a little bit older. And I want to encourage people to vote and keep voting every chance you get. I can hear T.I.'s music in my ears, right? High school graduate turnout was about 55%, while turnout for those with a bachelor's degree was 77%. And overall, voter turnout also increased as income increased. This is why, and this is very important, this is why they want to keep our communities basically broke, uneducated, and disinterested. Because if you don't think that your situation is going to be helped by voting, you're less inclined to do so. And that's why, one of the reasons why I guess they don't make Election Day a national holiday like they do in many other countries. It's very hard for the lower income workers to get to polls. I think it's super important that, we stay interested. Don't get, dissuaded by all the stuff that you're hearing, or especially by that gentleman that you saw. I mean, if anything, just like it's, reinvigorating up his base or whatever, it should definitely get us out there and to do our thing. We got to vote our numbers. I think if we just simply vote our numbers, there'll be a major change in the way like some of these elections turn out. A lot of times these things, these elections go to these people because we decide to simply stay home, or we get disinterested for whatever reason. We don't like the candidate. The thing is, even if you don't vote, it's like you're giving your voice away to that person who is pressing their way and who is pressing to go and vote. So we got to do our part, regardless of how we feel about who the person is or whatever. There's always going to be a binary choice. It's going to be this person or that person. Don't throw your vote away. Next up, former Governor Larry Hogan's chief of staff, Roy McGrath's house was raided by the FBI. How about he skipped trial and now he is a wanted fugitive, and he's been so for about the past 3 weeks. The U.S. Marshals and FBI, they have combined their powers, and now they've increased their reward now to $20,000. If you know the whereabouts of Roy McGrath, look, the money just went up. It's now $20,000. I mean, who would have thought that the Maryland Environmental Services would be so messy? Yikes. Okay, what's next?
Decision about where to put the new FBI building has taken more than a decade to make, and it's putting the states of Virginia and Maryland at odds. The current FBI building is in Washington, D.C. It was built in 1974, but the FBI needs a new, modernized headquarters. The economic impact for the community where it's built, it would be felt for generations. After years of delays, the General Services Administration, or GSA, has actually narrowed down the choice to 3 potential locations. 1 in Fairfax County, Virginia, and 2 in Prince George's County, Maryland. All 3 are just outside Washington. Now, the GSA is considering 5 criteria for what makes the best location. The first, FBI mission requirements, including proximity to the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, followed by transportation access, site development flexibility, sustainability, and advancing equity, and the cost to acquire and prepare the site. Maryland lawmakers argue that their proposed FBI sites in Prince George's County meet almost all of those criteria, especially for advancing equity. According to the most recent census data, Prince George's County is 61% Black, with a median household income of $91,000, while Fairfax County, Virginia, is 63% white, with a median household income of $133,000. Virginia Senator Tim Kaine argues that more than half the homes in the county speak a language other than English, so they meet the equity requirement as well. Well, here to discuss that and just a few other issues are the Democratic Maryland Governor Wes Moore and Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks. Welcome to you both. Governor, I'm going to start with you. In the GSA's updated criteria, advancing equity now ranks 4th out of the 5 in the list. Do you think it should be a higher priority?
It should be a higher priority. And the thing that we saw was they actually changed the indicators in September. So we're talking 2 months before my election on an issue that is a decade-long issue that the county executive and that our federal delegation has been working on for a very long time. In the 9th inning, the rules changed. And so then they decided that proximity to Quantico was now going to have a 35% weight, which, by the way, Quantico is a training facility. When you think about the day-to-day operations of the FBI, why proximity to a training facility now takes 35% makes absolutely no sense. And so at the core of our argument is a fulfillment of what is really going to be a legacy-defining decision for the Biden-Harris administration about where the largest GSA project in the history of the GSA is going to be placed, that we think if the Biden administration has been very clear that equity and racial equity is a priority for them, then they need to make sure that how GSA is rating and grading this actually correlates to how the president and the vice president is looking at this in terms of their legacy.
Now, you both have claimed that locating the FBI headquarters in Fairfax County would actually cost taxpayers billions of dollars with a B. Senator Mark Warner of Virginia has said that he doesn't think those numbers are quite accurate. Madam County Exec, how did you all arrive at that estimate?
Well, you know what? It's not even what we arrived at. General Services Administration's own numbers tell us that this site would cost us hundreds of billions of dollars more than the site in Prince George's County. The reason this is the case is because there's already a federal presence at that site that would have to be demolished and relocated. And so the site in Virginia literally costs taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars more than the site in Prince George's County. And those aren't our numbers. Those are numbers from the General Services Administration. These are numbers that have been presented to Congress. So it is a matter of fact that site is more expensive. The other thing that we know is that all of the criteria that have been laid out over the last several years, including cost, access to transportation, environmental impact, Prince George's County objectively has the 2 strongest sites of the 3. And that's the reason that this last criteria is added in September.
So why did they change the criteria? What reason did GSA give?
I don't know that anyone has ever been able to justify why you added in the 11th hour this criteria that, by the way, no other law enforcement agency is located anywhere near their training facility. There have been a number of conversations that have happened over the last, remember, this is a 10-year contest.
It seems odd. That's why I ask. It seems very odd.
Oh, me? I have nothing else. Nothing. Simone got it right. Pieces.